Welcome to OGS Mechanics Workshop. Here we fix all type of cars, electric cars, combustion engine cars. Follow me for interesting jobs from our workshop translated in videos. Another Nissan LEAF in the workshop, same generation too. We've done a job like this before where there's an issue on the high voltage battery. So currently on the dash, high voltage system fault is displayed. Unable the vehicle to restart. Currently not even engaging gears, so there is an issue on the high voltage system that is prevent this car from driving. And when we scan it with the diagnostic machine, we have error codes related with the restart and high voltage battery system installation. Now this second fault, it tells us there is an issue with the high voltage battery internally. We've got another video where we fully stripped one of those batteries and we see exactly what's going on the cells. Whenever they go defective, they leaking current. Now the solution for this particular one is going to be replacement of the complete battery. Now being a second-hand battery is a big question mark of the condition of it. So the challenge is to see whether the battery that we've received is going to be a good one, in good condition. The replacement pretty much straightforward, but it's just afterwards whether we got a good product, a good part. Now we're going to run some tests. We know there is an issue in the battery. We're going to do an installation test. We're going to read data with our dedicated software for Nissan, just to have an indication the state of health of this battery. And afterwards we're going to put a car on the ramp, we're going to get the battery replaced, and we're going to get same data out of the other battery to see how good it is. And in theory we should not have an installation fault. So now this car is not driving because of that. So let's get on getting more data. So we know, we know we have the installation fault. Now I want to see the stats about the battery. We are disconnecting our diagnostic. We're going to use our dongle. This dongle we're using with the dedicated software for Nissan to read information about the battery. Using this dedicated software for the Nissan batteries, in here we can see all the cells. Now the way it looks now, it looks quite okay. So we have a very low difference between the cells. Ideally we want to have it in region of 20 to 50 millivolts, being an old battery. So according to the data here, not much wrong. However, there is an installation issue. Now what we're going to do, we are going to remove the service connector, which is located at the back, in front of the back seat, and then we're gonna do an installation test there, just to prove that the problem it is within the high voltage battery, and only then we will proceed in having the car on the ramp. So with the service plugs removed, we're now having access to two of the battery ports. So basically what this service plug does is it's halving the battery. So we can have access in the middle of the battery. Now what we're going to do with this installation tester, we're going to do a resistance check. Now what we expect between the body of the car and those two terminals, we expect that we should have no resistance. If there is any resistance, that indicates an issue on that side of the battery. So with the minus connected to the battery, see when we join them, they go to 0. This front port looks okay, goes to infinite. This goes straight to 0. And there's also a noise. I'm not sure if can we pick up this noise on the camera. So this is like a buzzing noise. Now, what this test indicates there is a current leak, a massive current leak in the half of the battery that has the front terminal. There's definitely a big issue on the battery. Quite common on them is the back row of the cells to fail because they heat quite a lot and they also distort. Like I said, we have a video where we fully strip the battery from one of those leaves. Now, the next step is to put the car on the ramp because now it doesn't even start. We try to trick it to see if we can reset the error codes. It might enable us to start. Let's see if that's the case, because sometimes it is the case and we can get it running one more time at least so we can drive it on the ramp. Let's put the service connector back. That's all connected. If we are lucky and we can erase the error code, we might be able to engage the drive. See, now there's no engagement of any gears with this message on the dash. Let's see what of the error codes we can erase and whether the message, see, the message on the dash has gone. So this might actually allow us to drive the car. Let's see if that's the case. No. Let's cycle the ignition. We have drive. At least we're not stuck and we don't have to push it. So we've seen that before. If the installation fault is present, so the battery is very bad, it'll trigger the car in limp mode, so unable to switch on gears, unable to engage gears. However, if you erase the code, you will be able to drive. Eventually the message will come back because there's a massive leak in the battery and we'll be back to this square one. But we can drive it, so we can put it on the ramp. So let's go. With the car ready to go up in the air, is the time to disconnect the low voltage and the high voltage circuits so we don't have any electricity. We'll start by disconnecting the earth on the 12-volt battery. And now we go to the high voltage service plug that has to be off when we're going to work on it. This is also out, and we're now ready to work on the high voltage system. We will remove the under trays, which are 3 sections of plastics secured with bolts and some plastic clips. I'm going to do the bolts and Lal is going to do the plastic clips. And this is the last section. I'll clean it outside. With all the under tray removed, now we have access to the battery. And what we have to do on this LEAF, I think this car can qualify for one of the easiest high voltage battery to be removed, because apart from the fixing bolts, how many fixing bolts do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, about 8, yeah? No, 10, about 10. So 2 here, and then 3 on each side, and another 2 on the top, and then those 2 brackets. We have 3 connectors actually, not 4. The fourth was the service plug. Those connectors to be undone, and then literally the battery comes out. So definitely one of the quickest, easiest battery to be removed. So that's about it when it comes to the connectors. Let's bring the post where we're gonna drop the battery. Let's see how it's gonna work. We made up a bench. We're gonna drop the car down. We're gonna undo the bolts, and then battery is gonna stay down and car up. This is the plan anyway. Let's go. Come on, come on. Go, 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 go. Go. Come on. Go, go, go. More, more, more. Lift the car up. Yeah. We ready? Lift up. Yeah. All good this side? Yeah. Go on. Yeah. Okie dokie. Now, the challenge is to take this off, bring the other one, but you know what's the main challenge? To put it exactly in the same position when we lower the car. So say if we're gonna make some sign somehow. It's now the challenge. Take this one away and put the other one here. How are we gonna do that? Crane, yeah? Yeah, let's hook it up. Both battery next to each other. We're gonna do one more test to show the difference between a good one and a bad one. So again, the insulation test where we connect one plug to the earth, basically to the battery body. With the second one, we're gonna touch both terminal on the safety plug. And what is important that we look to see not to have a low resistance. So this is one of them, and it doesn't show low resistance, so 200 mega ohms. Second one goes to infinite, so just a very little resistance. Where on the faulty battery, Same exercise. Connect this to earth. We apply a bit of also voltage. So this side is fine, although it's a bit lower resistance than the other battery. But here is the problem. So as soon as we touch this, it goes to 0. This circuit, it has a problem, has a current leak, and from experience we know it's the bank here that usually fails. Because those batteries, let's switch this on off, having no coolant, it looks like somehow the heat goes a lot more on those elements and they get distorted. We have done some another LEAF battery where we took it apart and those elements, they were badly distorted. Might be a link with that video below. But this battery is good, that is bad. Let's go back on the car and hopefully we'll get the car running, and afterwards we're going to do some measurements with our special software, LEAF, which is an amazing software for Nissan LEAF vehicles. Gives you a lot of data about cars, about the battery, about individual cells, temperature, and so on. So let's move on. Now is the time to align the battery. This is going to be a bit of a... So we finish this. Let's put back the equipment. This is going to be a bit fiddly to align it. Lal. Let me know when I should stop. Are we pretty much in the right position? Move a little bit back? Okay. A lot on here. Okay. Let's see how we're going to do that. We need someone else in the back. Let's push it. Okay. More.
You have to lift down and need to check cross check. Almost here.
Well, more this side. Come on. Huh? Let's go. Let me know. Hold on. Hold on. Let's see. Ready? Yeah. Steady. Go. Yeah? How does it look?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely job. Can I have the gun? Let's go. And then it's time to connect the high voltage service connector and the 12 voltage battery. High voltage service connector goes back, and the 12 voltage. And what I want to do afterwards, I want to put the battery on charge. It's a bit late in the day. Want to charge it overnight, and in the morning we're gonna resume. How are you getting on? Yeah. We're gonna resume in the morning, hopefully with a fully charged battery, and then from there we need to take some tests because the battery might need to be programmed. We have to erase all the error codes, and hopefully we also gonna drive it. The battery was on charge for the whole night, and now is the time where we disconnect the charger and have to scan because we might need to program the chassis number. Is an unknown now, and obviously we want to see the state of the battery with our SPY software, Nissan LEAF SPY software. It was when we put the battery, we noticed it was only on 5%, and he had no drive. So it was a bit late in the day. We put it on charge. Now let's see exactly what are we getting out of it. Whether we're gonna get any drive straight away, or the chassis number has to be programmed on the battery module. So this is a bit of unknown, which we should hopefully find out. Now let's see what's happening with the ignition on. Moment of truth. EV system power reduced. So it's only been charging 71%, although it's been stayed overnight. It actually drives. Okay, that's a good step. What we're going to do now, we're going to scan it to see why we have EV faults. That's a message that we don't really like, but it could be that the way that it's been disconnected, some error codes from when the battery was on the other vehicle, on the donor vehicle. So let's see exactly what we have here. Actually, invalid battery. Ooh, that's an interesting one. Now, I suspect this might be because of the incorrect chassis number. So what we have to do is to program the chassis number. Until we do this, we're probably not gonna get rid of the fault. So let's see, a bit more work. Just trying to clear, but obviously invalid battery is still there. Okay, we have a VIN registration. The number is successfully programmed. Now we have to turn the battery, the ignition off for 10 seconds, and we have to see what other errors, what other procedure we might have to do the battery ID registration. Let's see after the VIN allocation. The battery ID registration is completed. Now we have to see Okay, so after the VIN registration and ID registration, we managed to get rid of the error code. Battery is charged 71%. It should, let's see, does it drive? Let's cycle the ignition. Now it's ready to go. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna take it in a road test. Wanna see the stats? Actually, let's do the stats now with LEAF. I'm curious to see the difference between the cells, because this is gonna tell us, gonna give us a good example on how healthy the battery it is. Oh my God, look at that. 15 millivolts. 15 millivolts. We expected to have around 20, 30 millivolts. This is a very good battery. I really love this app. Like I said, when it comes to LEAF batteries, it's amazing. And then on 70% charge, if this looks like this, the battery is in a very good condition. And what we also see, state of health, 96%. So this battery for definite doesn't have a lot of miles. So I think it was a rather good buy from the customer, because you know, when you buy second-hand parts, you don't really know, are they good, are they not, especially on the battery, because you cannot do tests while it's off the car. We can only run test when it's on, but this looks pretty good, really. So we're gonna take it in a road test, then probably yeah, mine needs fully charged, but I'm quite happy with what I see on the data. So let's roll it out. A quick drive test, and hopefully this time the Nissan won't display the EV fault battery. The last thing that is to be done is to check the battery under load. So we're going to set in a drive test, and I want to see how the difference between the cell is going to go when we're going to apply some load. Afterwards, we should have a good understanding how good the battery is. Let's set off. Let's set off. So here is the data that I'm looking for, the difference on the LEAF app between the cells when we're going to have some load on the battery. So this data looks amazing, very good. She's very well. Very well. Yeah, this is definitely a very good battery. And to be fair, replacement on a LEAF battery, when you have to do it as a pack without getting inside the battery to the cells, it's pretty straightforward. Not a lot. It could qualify for one of the easiest battery to be replaced on an electric car. But this was the job. Now we have good values from the battery. This car can now go back to the customer, and this is how we've done it. A job that it took probably altogether, I don't know, less than 2 hours. Yeah, we're gonna have a more extensive road test, but so far we concluded for the video because it's all look good. And again, if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and stay close for more videos from our workshop where we fix cars, electric cars, and combustion engine cars in general. I'll see you next time in the next video.